Hi there, this is Java Jim with First Line Equipment, and today we're going to give you an intro to the startup of the Torre Alfredo Heat Exchange Espresso Machine with TSP. If you don't know what TSP means, go look on our website because that's going to give you a little indication of what this machine can do. So, if you watched our intro video on how to unbox, this is your next step on what to do after you receive the machine and the startup of this machine. So the first thing is to remove the water tank. Okay, as I always suggest, refill the espresso machine or the water tank outside of the machine in case, and this is for every machine that has a water tank, you spill water on the perimeter and it gets onto the insides. Why? Because typically the terminal for the cord that goes in is on the bottom. I've never seen it on other machines where it's on the top or the side. If you get water in there, you're going to get a zap. This is why I recommend a GFI or GFI-C outlet, which is a ground fault interrupter circuit outlet, to prevent any type of electrical shock or electrocution to you, because it'll shut off the power to the machine if it senses a short. Okay, I also recommend a surge suppressor, 1080 joules or higher, single outlet only. I do have a preferred brand called Panamax, but they are getting out of this business with the single outlets. So if you could find one that's good, great. So fill the tank. Again, outside, if you want to take it to your sink, you can. I recommend soft water, which means water that's not hard, doesn't have calcium in it. Not too much salt. And if you need a water softener, we sell a product called Oscar 150, which softens the water over 15 hours. You're better to work in a pitcher, but you can put it in the tank. I suggest not getting it over the intake. Okay, and this is a gravity feed tank, which is kind of nice because when there's a hose that goes in from the top, a lot of times that's double duty on a vibration pump, even a rotary vane pump, to actually pull the water out from the top. So gravity feed's really nice. So the first thing you want to look, make sure there's no leaks in case the hose was disconnected in shipping. Sometimes the hose can disconnect on any machine, not just this one, but it has happened where a hose was disconnected. The beauty about this machine is you do have 4 Allen key screws on the 4 sides to take the panels off. So nice, easy access. This unit is in white. It's available, I believe, in Hound Gray and a matte black, if I'm not mistaken. But I do like the white with the light walnut. Make sure the position of this power switch right here is in the down position. Then, again, you have no leaks from the water tank. We're going to plug it in. And just to let you know, this is a Torre shirt they gave to me back in October as a little gift, appreciation for doing business with them. The first thing we'll do is we'll power it on. And silence. But in your case, you may hear the pump fill the boiler. There we go. Okay, so it's cycled through electronics. It's filling the boiler. I suggest there is a bleeder valve inside, but if you want to open up the 2 valves to let any air pressure out, but there is a bleeder valve. Now these joysticks, okay, they're complete off or complete on. Okay, so there is no in between on these. Okay, we have the hot water one there, the steam one there. Now it's going to go through its cycle of heating up. Again, check under the machine. Make sure there are no leaks again. And now you can hear the boiler heating. At this time, make sure the valves are closed, and we're going to run some water through the group head. Okay, and we have some water coming out, which is nice. And we'll shut that off. So, heat exchanger, what does that mean? If you take a canister and pretend this is the boiler, the bottom portion of the boiler, up to between 30 and 50%, typically based on the heating element, is to keep the heating element submerged in water and you have very hot water. The top half of the boiler is typically steam. And then there's a pipe that goes in, heat exchange, pipe that goes in, typically on the bottom, sometimes sideways, out through the top, and that is called a thermosiphon loop to the group head. So on E61s, there are 2 pipes behind here, and the water is circulating. And that's how it heats the group head, through that circulation. Cold water comes back, or cooler water, and it keeps on cycling. So just keep in mind how a heat exchange system works, and this is typically why an E61 group head typically takes a good solid 20 to 30 minutes to heat up. Okay, some manufacturers can speed up the process. How they do that is they take out there's a jaclure on one of the pipes that slows the flow of water to increase that speed. But then what happens is there's too much flow when you're making the espresso. So it's all categorized by each manufacturer. Some will make it where there is none. Some will put, I've seen that flow restrictor near the boiler, but mostly it's behind the group head. So typically 20, 30 minutes to heat up. And just right here is your button. Okay, right here. Okay, that's you press it once for active steam or steam boost, and you press it again to turn it off. So this compares to other heat exchange machines that have pretty much a PID, but most machines have 3 or 4 set temperatures. And this one, basically, you could set the temperature of the boiler, the average temp at 90, 92, 94, and 96. When another manufacturer had this machine, it was typically weak on the steam side. So every time you lifted the lever, it would increase the power to the heating element based on the first shot, and then more in the second, more in the third, more in the fourth, more in the fifth, and you would get too much temperature based on that coffee mode. So what we worked with Torre is you only have to have 1 PID sensor on the boiler, and it would manage the temperature as best as possible. And if you weren't making espresso, you can go back to make a second, a third, a fourth, up to about 10 espressos before you see a decline in the temperature. Now, if you're steaming milk, so you're making 1 or 2, you turn the steam boost on, and it creates a little more temperature, a higher temperature in the boiler, so you can froth the milk. And you can immediately turn it off, say within a minute. And I believe it's about 2.5 minutes. The one thing that I forgot to mention at the beginning of this is there is no instruction manual included. You have to go to our website and get the instruction manual from there. I just gave Andrea Ferrari, okay, the owner of Torre, I just gave him a lot of updates and recommendations on how to improve the manual for us here in the USA. So when you're forewarned, you're forearmed to not only get the machine to perform to optimal performance for you, but also to make it last longer, and also to have less problems. Because less problems for you means less problems for us and for Torre. That's why we go after manufacturers to build their products better. The US market is different than the worldwide market, and this is why we want superior products here to make them more foolproof and make them last longer. You're making quite an investment in buying one of these machines. Again, 20, 30 minutes to heat up. Now, if you want to go, and we'll have another video with close-ups, if you want to go into program mode, you would hold this button in, and you would get the settings icon right here. And then from there, you press here, and then you select the temperature. Okay, and then you have eco mode, temperature, and there is a tank alarm icon, pre-brew. So you could do pre-infusion between 0.5 and 5 seconds. Okay, and the temperature again, I believe it said 90, 92, 94, 96. I would go with 94. I think 96 is a little bit too hot, but it depends on your coffee. Depends on your espresso blend that you're going to be making. And then they give you a little flow chart here of how the menu works. Okay, so there's a nice little flow chart. I even gave him some recommendations here. Then the eco mode, he put 30 to 90 minutes. wasn't clear. Does that mean 30, 45, 60, 75, 90? Or does that mean 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37? Wasn't clear about that, and that's why I'm asking him to improve the manual so you have a better understanding on how this works. You can hear this machine boiling. It's racing, okay? Again, about 20 minutes minimum to heat up. What's a way to tell? You look at the pressure gauge here, which right now is a little bit under 1. You want it typically around 1.1, 1.3. But my test, the group head is already getting warm, but I can keep my hand on it. My test to make sure that group head cannot be touched. And while you're warming up, you want to keep the portafilter in place. Okay, and if you're making espresso or you're leaving the machine on, my recommendation now is to remove the coffee, the spent grounds out of the portafilter, clean it, and put it back on because you don't want the rancid oils going up into the screen. As far as back flushing, good detergent. We sell Pulley right now at First Line, which we find to be one of the best ones and eco-friendly. And you can use the blind that they're included. Here again, you want to get a better tamper, and the scoop is useless, as I always say, and cleaning brush to clean the group head as well. So that's pretty much it. You're going to look out for our next video where we're going to make espresso and cappuccino with this machine. And basically, this is the startup, your initial startup for the Torre Alfredo heat exchange espresso and cappuccino machine right here at First Line Equipment. If you have any questions or comments, please visit our website. We have a Q&A section that you can ask questions. We'll try to answer them. Even any type of tech support questions, we'll try to post them there. Any comments you can also put on our social media channels. Please subscribe to all of them. Please subscribe to this one. We appreciate you watching. Thank you. And have a great day with coffee first and everything else second. And you know why there's a delay? Pre-infusion. Take care.